everyone, welcome to the Entrepreneur Series where we connect entrepreneurs with students using real-world experiences and insights. Today we're here with Christa Campbell, who has experience in film, entrepreneurship, and is now working in multiple areas such as her own startup, her businesses. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing?
Yeah, so I was a GOC owl when I was in middle school, and then I went to Collins Hill for high school, and I was a part of GSLT. And then I graduated in 2021. I went to school at college at Boston University, and I graduated in 2025. And while I was there, I started a company. We were doing pantry staples, sustainable pantry items. And then starting in April, I started working on another startup that I'm co-founding and I'm doing operations for, where we're making plant-based food coloring that performs similarly to synthetics without all the bad stuff in it. And then when I was in high school, I started a film production company and did producing. So, yeah.
What led you to those areas, such as film, and then also with your plant-based?
Yeah, so for film, I had always been in the film industry. I started acting when I was 4, and I loved it. But when it was time for high school, I decided, because I went to GOC, but I decided that I wanted to just do high school regular and just try that out, because I had been in the film industry my whole life. And I really liked it, but I missed film, so I started producing, or I acted in a friend's film, and then I decided that I thought I could do the logistics pretty well, so I started doing that, and I loved it. And so I started my film production company my sophomore year of high school. And then I did that until my sophomore-ish year of college. And then I started my company at school. I had always been really passionate about, or I've always been passionate about sustainability, and I wanted to give people the opportunity to make their homes more sustainable, and empower them to feel good about the choices that they're making in their kitchen. And so that's why I started my last company, but I applied for a program that matches climate tech with entrepreneurs, so I got paired with this technology that makes the plant-based food coloring, and I started working on that in April, and I decided to focus my efforts on that full-time. So I don't have a background in food science or anything, but I really enjoy I really enjoy the sustainability element of it, because food dyes right now are made from petroleum. And they are obviously not good for us, but not good for our waterways. And so, yeah, I've enjoyed building that. And now I'm going on to do business development for sustainable manufacturing sensor technology.
You have a lot going on.
Yes, I have a lot going on. But I'm excited.
And what was it like when you started something on your own?
Yeah, I'd say it's really tricky. It's a lot of work, and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes when you start something on your own. I think that's the scariest part of getting started, is you don't know where to jump in, and you don't know what to do, and it feels very overwhelming. And it feels like wherever you go, you're gonna mess up, and that is honestly true. A huge part of entrepreneurship, or just a part of learning, is making mistakes. And I think students are everybody is afraid of failure and afraid of making mistakes, that they let them stop themselves from actually doing something that they're excited about. And so what I would recommend is if there's something that you're interested in, jump in and give it a shot. And if you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. You learn as you go. And you figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, you ask for help. You know what I mean? So when I was in high school, COVID hit my junior year, and I was really isolated and really lonely and really bored, and I wanted to help, and I didn't know how I could. And so I saw the hospitals struggling, I saw our local restaurants dying, and so I started a one at Meal Bridge, where people donated money to local restaurants, they made the food, and then they dropped off meals to the hospital. And so it helped keep local restaurants afloat, and it also helped our hospital employees be fed, because they weren't able to leave as easily to go on break and stuff. And I learned through that if you just jump in and take chances, stuff will happen and people will be excited about it. And so that's what I would recommend for anyone even if it's not starting a company, even if it's just a project, you're never gonna have everything perfectly planned out. It's good to plan, but it's also good to go in and learn as you go.
Yeah, and like you said, like people are really afraid to make those mistakes. So when you were faced with your own setbacks, how did you get over that?
Yeah, it definitely took me a while to get comfortable making mistakes. I think it's really easy to fail and then view that as something that you have to be ashamed of or you have to carry with you. And what I would encourage is to embrace your failures. When you make a mistake, accept it and say, this is what I did wrong, this is what I'm learning from it, and this is how I'm going to apply in the future. For example, my first company, I didn't really know how to like incorporate our company properly. I incorporated in Georgia because that's where I'm from, but you're supposed to incorporate companies in Delaware because of tax purposes, and I didn't know that. So then my second company, I incorporated in Delaware, but then I didn't really know how to do the credit card situation, all of that. And now my third company, we have our bank set up, we have our credit card set up, like everything is good to go because I learned from each mistake. And if I was just afraid of messing up, I probably wouldn't even done the first company because that took forever and it took so long to figure out, and it was so hard. But I carry those failures with me, not as a weight, but as a trophy because they are valuable. And I think failure is the best teacher because it is something that you hold with you. People have a harder time letting failure go, and I think the best thing you can do with it is appreciate what you messed up and appreciate how you learned and not let it like stop you. I also think that it's uncomfortable, and so continuing to practice feeling more comfortable with it and acknowledging, I did mess up and this is what I learned, instead of just letting yourself be like, I'm so horrible and I did everything wrong, or I can't believe I messed up like that. Like that happens. I still feel that way sometimes. Like, but you get better at it. Now I make a mistake at least once a week and I fix it once a week and I never make that mistake again. You know what I mean?
A stepping stone once a week.
Yep.
And what are some skills you developed from those experiences?
I would say the ability to pivot is really crucial, and the ability to change what you're doing. A lot of times people have an idea and they think it's the best idea in the world, and to them it probably is, but a huge part of entrepreneurship or just starting anything is making sure that there is a market pull for it, that people want it. And so I think a lot of times people can get stuck. I experienced this. My first company, it was not supposed to be what it was. It was supposed to be like a milkman delivery service for your pantry items. But the logistics were really difficult. People didn't really want it that much. And I was really stuck with like, this is what it had to be. And like, once I finally let that go, I changed the name, I changed the branding, I changed like what we were doing, and it like started moving faster. And so I think being able to pivot, but also knowing what you value and what is true to yourself and what you're holding on to, so that you don't just like let the world take you where it's supposed to be. So like with my last company, I care very deeply about sustainability, and it was starting to move away from sustainability, and I knew that that was a grounding source, and if people didn't want that, then I didn't want to keep working on something that wasn't surrounded by sustainability. And so I think knowing what you value and what is true to you, but also being willing to pivot and change when is necessary.
Yes, that's great advice for sure. And what's something you learned that you did not expect?
I think I didn't realize how many resources were out there and how many people want to support you. I think asking for help is always really scary. And I think that there's so many people out there that have been in your shoes that would love to help students. Everybody loves to help students. Whenever I needed help, I always sent them an email from my school email and not from my personal email, because they were so much more willing to help a student. I think that entrepreneurs, if they look, they can get mentors anywhere. And I think that was something that was really surprising, was that there were so many people that were ready and excited to help me.
And what made you decide to transition from film into your current role?
Yeah, that one was really hard. I had done film my entire life. I had gone to school for film, like I was only looking at schools with good film programs. And it was scary. It was scary to make a change. And I really held off as long as I could. I as a film major when I went to BU, and I took one business class, and I liked the business class, so then I started pursuing like the business minor, and then I liked the business minor, so then I started taking all the major classes, and I had only taken like 3 film classes, and at that point I realized it was my junior year when I finally declared the like switch, even though I had been taking classes the whole time. And so change is scary, but I think college is a great time to embrace change. Yeah, I guess what really did it for me was I just realized I really connected with myself and tried to understand where I was happier and what I enjoyed doing more. And I was like, I have these 2 classes and this one I just like more. And I have these 2 opportunities and this one I'm more motivated to work on. And it's hard to switch up and it's hard to change what you feel like you are meant to do. But I don't know, just be honest with yourself and be able to accept that stuff changes and that's okay.
For sure, like especially with students at our age.
Yeah.
Even like something simple as what college you're going to. That like change, like, you can feel like your whole world is ending, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it is a big decision.
Yeah.
College is scary and it's exciting. I was actually supposed to go to a different college before I committed to BU. And it had a really good film program, but I was already feeling nervous that I didn't know if I wanted to fully do film. And I wanted to give myself the room to explore. And BU had a lot of really good programs that I could explore in. And so, yeah, I think just knowing that life is flexible and that there's a lot of change that occurs, and the quicker you can learn to embrace it, the better off you'll be, because especially in entrepreneurship, but even just life in general, stuff is always changing and always moving, and the better prepared you can be to adapt to change, the more resilient you'll be and the more you'll thrive in all sorts of environments.
And were there any skills from your previous experience that helped you in your current job?
Yes, so many skills. I think you can kind of make anything fit together.
Yeah.
I am doing like basically operations, logistics, like scheduling, coordinating everything. And I was like, how am I gonna justify this? You know what I mean? But I did run a film production company and I did the logistics of it. I did the producing. It's not considered the same role, but I managed people, I coordinated people, I made sure everybody got where they needed to go. And so I think our lives are such a journey, and if you can like reflect on them, you can always find ways to connect it to what you want to do today. I'm doing business development now in my new role, and that's just like a lot of talking to people. And so like I've, connected some of my previous work with like customer discovery or market research with this new job. So I think your path doesn't need to be linear. I think the more experience you have, the more you can learn, and you can always make a good story.
Yeah. And how did you know it was the right time to pivot?
That's the question, isn't it? I think it really depends on what you're doing, what you care about. I think you have to listen to a lot of different people. You shouldn't just take one opinion and take it. I also think it depends on whose opinion you're taking. Like, I have mentors and advisors that I really, really trust. And even then, I don't take just their opinion, but like I will weight their opinion heavier than I would weight just somebody I interview. So I think it's time to pivot when you've heard it a lot. I think on like a more personal basis, like in terms of where you want to go to college or what you want to study, I think it's time to pivot when it doesn't feel right anymore. And it's a feeling, and it's not like I love being able to just put everything into a spreadsheet and say this is the right answer, but that's not how life works.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be a little bit of a feeling, but you can still do the reflection, and you can still say, well, this feels like the right answer, but this looks like the right answer, but it doesn't feel like it's the right answer. Why do I want to pivot? Like, what am I missing? I think just being curious will allow you to make the right decision for yourself.
For sure. And what advice would you give to students who are interested in starting something or exploring careers?
I'd say give it a shot, and jump all the way in before you decide you don't like it. When I started at BU, I was really interested in entrepreneurship, and I joined I went to one meeting at the innovation lab, and I didn't really know where I fit in. I didn't really like it, so I never came back. And it wasn't until my senior year when I had a professor that was like, you should go, you should go, you should go, that I finally went back and I loved it. And that really shaped my journey. That made me realize that entrepreneurship is a career path I could have, and that there's a way to do it, and that it's not just like all over the place. Like there's resources and there's like models that can help you get to where you need to go. And I wish I didn't give up so quickly on the first try. And so I think if you're curious about something, jump all the way in. If there's a club you want to join, sure, you can start by going to a meeting, but when you're at the meeting, talk to the e-board and see if there's a way you can help them. See if you can shadow the president. See if you can sit in on a meeting. Like, people want to get new people involved. Yeah. And so I'd say jump all the way in before you decide if you like something or don't like something.
And what's one thing you wish you knew when you were in high school?
That it's okay to mess up and that it's okay to fail. I think in high school, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I still put a lot of pressure on myself, but I felt like any blip or any inefficiency or any mistake meant my character was flawed, or like I wasn't the person I'm supposed to be. And the more you make mistakes and the more you mess up, you realize that people are willing to forgive you and people are willing to help you. I never did bad in classes in high school, and so going to college, I felt like, well, I did really bad in this class, I can't go ask for help. But that's what they're there for. People want to help you. And so I think something I didn't know in high school was that it's okay to mess up, and it's okay to not be perfect. And that can look like a lot of different things, right? Like, you can be really good at school, but like struggle to make friends, and that's okay, and that's something you can keep working towards. Or, like when I got to college, I could not for the life of me, like, eat. Like, I was struggling to go to the dining hall for 3 meals a day. Like, I would miss at least 1 meal a day. And it was affecting my mental health. Like, it was not good for me. And I would call my mom and she'd be like, have you eaten today? And it was like, why do I keep forgetting this? Like, this is the most important thing that you do since you're born. And how am I forgetting this? And so I think it's just important to know that messing up is okay. And, you got it. You'll figure it out and you'll grow from your mistakes.
Like, not looking for perfection in every single aspect of life.
Yeah, and not waiting for perfection to get started with something. Yeah. It's okay to jump in and only know 30% of what you're going to do and say, hey, I just started this and I don't fully know what I'm going to do, but I'd love your support. And people are always willing to kind of help guide you.
And what's one thing about you people would not expect?
That's a good question. I think because I'm really bubbly and because I'm blonde and because I'm a woman, I'm often not taken seriously. And I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm unassuming, or that they didn't realize I was as smart as I was. There's a lot of people in my life that obviously value me and don't have that same perspective. And I think it's really important to pour your energy into the people that are supporting you and uplifting you, rather than proving yourself to the people that are doubting you. I had so many people who doubted me, and I wanted to take my energy and time to show them, no, I did this, and I'm capable, and I'm strong. And that's not where you need to be spending your time. You should be spending your time with the people that say, I know you have it in you, and I believe in you. Because those are the people whose opinions you truly care about, and those are the people who will continue supporting you when you don't have it, and when you are messing up, and when you are unsure of yourself. I had a professor, and I switched from film, which is a very creative group of people, into business, which is like black suit, black like shoes, or navy suit. Like, it was so serious. I feel like the building was built to like intimidate you. Like, it was very overwhelming. And I was scared. I was like nervous, and so I would like wear my neutrals, and but I love wearing pink. I'm like a pink girl through and through. My whole closet is pink. And so one day I decided, I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I was like going to my favorite professor's office hours, and I came in and I was like, there was a recruiter here, and I didn't say hi to him because I'm wearing this like whole pink outfit, and like I didn't want him to like not take me seriously. And she told me, she was like, if people aren't willing to embrace you for you, then they don't deserve you. They don't deserve you. They don't deserve your skills and your talent, and you shouldn't waste your time trying to prove yourself to them. You should go where you are respected and where you are appreciated for who you are. And that was like one of the most fundamental things I learned throughout college. And I still meet with her. I got coffee with her, and I was like, I don't know if like I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing a startup. It's scary. And like, what if this was the wrong choice? And she was like, you are so capable, and you are making the choice that's best for you. And if you want to switch up and go into corporate, then do it. You got it. But she was like, I believe in you. And if I would have like wasted all of my time trying to connect with professors that doubted me, or waste all my time trying to connect with like guys in my class that didn't view me as serious as them, then I would have like not had that relationship with her. And she has truly helped me feel confident being the person I am today. So put your energy into the people that uplift you and not that try to bring you down.
Speaking to my heart.
Yes, yes.
Like, especially like with that point you said, like, especially if you're like a woman in these fields,
yeah, that
like, how does that affect?
Yeah, I'd say it's important to know who is your ally and who supports you. I've had women who are older than me, and they've told me that in their field, like when they were growing up, there was only room for one woman in that table. And so they ended up competing against one another, and they weren't supporting each other. And so it's not always going to be the woman that's going to be your ally. But you got to know who has your back and who you can turn to. And in a lot of cases, those are your teachers, those are your professors. They care about you. You know, people in education are doing it because they care about you and they care about uplifting the next generation. And so leaning into those people, I think, is really important. And being vulnerable with them and saying, I need help. But to the people that are doubting you, you don't need to waste your time with them or show them that you don't got it, because you do. And I think it's really easy to underestimate yourself.
Sure.
It doesn't matter, like, because I'm a woman or because I'm young, like, people underestimate me. And it's easy to say, well, maybe I don't have enough experience, or maybe I don't know what I'm doing. But I do, and everybody's kind of faking it a little bit. So if you wait until you're like 100% like confident, you're never gonna do anything, because nobody's ever got it 100%.
You have to like fake it till you make it.
Exactly. And then to the people that you trust, you can be open. And, yeah.
Guys, I'm Hope Campbell. I'm the student engagement facilitator here at GOC. I also teach psychology and peer leaders. I've been in education for 32 years now, and in that time I've gotten to know a lot of students, amazing students, but the one thing that they always seem to need a little more support on is developing that resume. And so that's why I'm here today, to talk to you a little bit about that. So I think it's a natural thing not to want to brag on yourself, but in this case, you need to brag a little bit on yourself. And so who should be developing a resume? You. Everybody, you know, that's moving on to a job, to go to college, to get a scholarship, to do anything, needs some sort of one-page formal introduction to themselves that's just like this is who I am. So all high school students for sure should be developing this. What is a resume? People are like, what is that even? It's like I said, one page. I'm going to hit that really hard because I've seen so many 2 to 3 page resumes. It's a little bit awkward. It's a professional introduction to you, and it also really helps you keep track of all the things you've accomplished. Now, I just said keep it to one page, but I'm saying all the things you accomplished. You might have a few different resumes. You might have an academic one. You might have a like job one from all the jobs you've had while you've been in high school, and then maybe you're a performer. You might have a theatrical one. So next, where will you need a resume? You'll need this when you apply for jobs. Your local Publix would love for you to walk in with a resume. Think about how impressed they would be. You'll need this for applying for a summer job, like a camp counselor or something like that. You'll need this to apply to college. You'll need this to apply to scholarships. Later on, you will need this to get your first big job. So resumes are key to your overall success. When do you need a resume? You should really start to work on this in 9th grade. Get going with it. Keep a list of all the things that you're doing, you're accomplishing, and then get started putting it into a resume. And why do you need a resume? You need it for college recommendations. When students say, hey, Ms. Campbell, can you write me a college rec? I'm like, sure, send me your resume. And they do, and inevitably, it's not what I need. It's not specific. It's not one page. It's either very brief or it's like so many things that I'm overwhelmed. So it just really helps us as teachers write a letter of recommendation for you. You'll need it for job apps. Like I said, scholarships, you should put it on your LinkedIn, which you should also all have. Okay, so what should your resume look like? It should be one page. I've said that before. Once you hit high school, really start to move away from the middle school stuff on your resume. You should not have that in your signature line. You should be like stepping away. If you're a performer, we really need to be stepping away from our middle school performances. You need to be organized with your resume. You need to have bullet points. You need to like bold things like your contact information. You need to think about skills that benefited your organization, your school, your team, your employer. And you need to be really specific with your accomplishments. You don't want to say, oh, blah, blah, blah's a hard worker. Blah, blah, blah's you, by the way. You don't want to say that. You want to say specific things where you demonstrated that you were a hard worker. And you need to use the right template. So if you go online, you will find a ton of templates. And in this presentation, you're going to see a few different types of resumes. Because of course, there are academic resumes, there's resumes that are just for getting a job, there's resumes that are performance-based, and then there's a little bit of a mix of both. So Google resume template for a high school student, blah, 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 whatever thing that you need, and get going with that resume. And definitely reach out if you have any questions.
And then for our final question, what's a belief that you've had in your journey that you've now outgrown?
Yeah, I think that I had to be perfect, and that I had to be a robot, and that I had to be a machine. You know what I mean? I thought that productivity and success meant grinding all the time and doing stuff all the time. And what I've really learned to come to appreciate is that I'm a human, and I deserve to take time to explore my hobbies, and I deserve to take time to rest and to sit on my phone or do a puzzle or like chill, you know what I mean? And I used to think of it that like my chill time had to be productive. Like I had to get as much rest as possible so that I could be recouped for the next day. And that's also not great. I think we need to remember that first and foremost, we are people, and we deserve relaxation without having to earn it. And we deserve connection and enjoyment without having to earn it. But find things that motivate you so that they don't feel draining, and that you can keep doing them, you know, when times get hard, but make sure to care for yourself too.
For sure. Yeah. And thank you so much to Christa for sharing your experience. I know I learned a lot. The whole time I was like, oh my goodness, it's all like hitting my heart. And I think this will definitely like reach a lot of our students too, especially with pivoting.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I'm also at a time in my life where I feel like I have to pivot in every single area.
And it's overwhelming.
For sure. So,
well, I'm happy I could help. And if you ever want to reach out, or anyone watching wants to reach out, you can find me on LinkedIn, or I don't know if you know, I don't know, you can get my email if possible, but I'm happy to help out in any way.
Thank you so much. And all of Christa's information will be linked down below. So please make sure to stay tuned for more episodes of the Entrepreneur series. Bye.
Bye.